Hi guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Ringside Recap. I am your host, Ninja Ninja, and let's get started with WrestleMania, of course, night one. So, y'all, welcome to the first night of WrestleMania 42. And I really do not have high hopes for this first night. Well, just because I feel like the matches are a little bit predictable. I know I raised it. I think that this night is going to be the better night. But no, that I slept on it, I was like, I'm not even sure now because looking back on it, what I was thinking last night after Friday Night SmackDown, I was like, oh my goodness. These matches seem a little bit predictable. So we're just going to see all through the night, and I'll tell you my reviews on everything that would happen. But before I do that, I'm going to give you my last minute predictions. They're still the same from me saying on Friday Night SmackDown. So let me give them to you. So, y'all, I predicted that Randy Orton is going to be the 15-time world champion. I think between Rollins and Gunther, it's going to be Gunther. Because like I said last night, they love them some Gunther. And then Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu. I think it's going to Jacob. Then we got Stephanie Valkyrie versus Liv Morgan. I'm going to think it's going to go to Liv. I think it's going to go to Liv. And then we have the women's Fatal 4 tag team match for the women's tag team championship. I think still is going to be Lyra. But now I also heard another rumor that Nikki Bella is actually fine and she can wrestle for this WrestleMania tonight. I don't know. Because last night I saw a rumor that she wasn't able to wrestle. So, I don't know. We're going to see. So then, the last match is the match between the Usos and LA Knight versus the Vision and I Show Speed. And I think the Usos and LA Knight are going to take this. So, those are my pre-predictions, and I will tell y'all later on during the show on if I was right or not. But after all that, let's get started with WrestleMania Night 1. So y'all, the first match of the night, it was LA Knight and the Usos versus the Vision and I Show Speed. Now this match was a good match. It was a good match. I was really surprised. Both teams did great. Their gears looked great. The Usos had an orange, neon, green, white suit, and also LA's ring gear also matched their suit in a way. And then you had the Vision come out, and their ring gear wasn't really nothing too special other than speed like a superhero outfit got kind of thing going on. And overall, it was a good match. It was a really good match. I'm gonna give it a 7. It was a great match. And at the end of the match, because LA Knight and the Usos won, Logan Paul got mad at Speed because he thinks that Speed cost him the match. And Logan Paul was trying to do a splash off of the top rope, but then the Usos and LA Knight stopped them and then encouraged Speed to get up there and actually put Logan onto the table, the announce table, and did a frog splash. And it was amazing. It was a great frog splash, and it was a great thing for Speed to celebrate with the Usos and LA Knight. But all in all, this was a good first match for WrestleMania. Okay, y'all. The next match of the night was Drew McIntyre versus Jacob Fatu. Now, this match was a good match. Probably the same as the Vision and the Usos in them. I'm going to give this match a good 7 out of 10. It was a great match. I thought they were going to use a little bit more weapons, and I guess I was expecting more of a little blood scene going on between those two. But all in all, the match was great, and Jacob Fatu picked up the win. So my predictions are going good. I have 2 out of the rest of the matches, so I'm doing good for that. But this is kind of my expectation. So, but we have a few more matches down the line. I will continue to let y'all know all through the night what's gonna happen next. So, y'all, the next match of the night was the Fatal Tag Team Women's Tag match for the Women's Tag Team Championships. Whew, that was a lot. You had Charlotte Flair and Alexa. You had Brie Bella and Nikki Bella. But, and this is what I say, I called it. Paige ended up taking the place of Nikki Bella because she was unfortunately not medically cleared. And I called it. I said it's going to be Paige or it's going to be Alicia Fox. It's going to be one of the two. And then you have the Nia and Flash, and then also Bailey and Lyra. And this match was a pretty good match. It was boring at first, it was a little slow, but it picked up by the middle and in the end. And Paige and Brie Bella are now the new Women's Tag Team Championship. And I'm gonna go ahead and say something. This is just a thought. When Nikki gets healthy, she's gonna come after Paige because this should have been her moment. And on paper, technically, only Brie and Paige as the champions, so Nikki would not be a champion. So she technically would never held the Women's Tag Team Championship. So I feel like Nikki is going to turn on Paige, or both Bellas are going to turn on Paige, and it's going to be some type of like back and forth battle between all of them. That's just an idea. I don't know. But we have some new Women's Tag Team Champions, Brie Bella and Paige. And we have not seen Paige in WWE TV in 8 years. So this is great to see her. And I'm happy that she's back. So we get a little more diversity in the women's locker room. So I lost one of my predictions. I thought Bailey and Lyra was going to take it. But I'm still okay with this choice, so I take it. Okay, y'all, the next match of the night was AJ Lee versus Becky Lynch. Now, this match was okay. It was a decent match. A regular old title match for the Women's Intercontinental Championship. And crazy enough, Becky ended up getting her title back, which makes Becky a 3-time Women's Intercontinental Champion. Now, this is also not of my pick. I thought that AJ Lee was going to retain this. But it does make me curious to see what's going to happen now for AJ Lee and Becky, due to the fact that it was distractions going on with the ref, and Becky also taking off the turnbuckle pad for AJ Lee to hit her head on it and cost her the championship. Now, I can see this going to next month's pay-per-view for one last time, one last go-around. And then I need to see AJ Lee going for the bigger championships. I think this side championship, but just to get everyone back familiar with her, and for new people to gain to love her that haven't seen her before. Now, I think it's time now for her just to go ahead and go for a big main championship, so she can say that she done it. And maybe possibly team up with Paige again, because they was in the same generation during that time when they was active wrestlers before injuries and both of them leaving. So it'd be a good for them to come back together and tag team one more time. But all in all, it's a good match so far. WrestleMania has been okay so far. Good matches so far. I can't complain. So y'all, the next match of the night, we had Gunther versus Steph Rollins. And this match was a great match. It was definitely a 10 out of 10 worthy match between both Rollins and Gunther. But as one of my predictions came true again, Gunther won the match. But it was due to Braun Breaker coming back and spearing Seth Rollins, basically taking some of the air out of his body for Gunther to do his choke and Steph passing out and him getting the win. Now, I did kind of say this is Paul Heyman's little favor. Paul could have somehow sent him back, but who knows. And then at the end of the match, when Steph was outside trying to catch his breath, Braun Breaker did his legendary run down the aisle and speared Seth Rollins again, basically putting the nail in the coffin. So, I guess we're gonna see on Monday how this is gonna play out with Seth Rollins and everybody else. So, Braun Breaker and Seth Rollins match, next pay-per-view. I don't know. We'll see. So, y'all, your next match of the night, it was Liv Morgan versus Stephanie Valkyrie. And this match, it could have been a little better. I'm honestly give it like a 6. I was expecting a little bit more from both women. But, my prediction did come true once again that Liv Morgan is now the new women's world champion. And due to the fact that Roxanne and Raquel did get involved to distract Stephanie a few times, that still cost her the match, and now Liv is the new women's champion. Stephanie's reign was okay. A little boring for my taste. I know a lot of people love Stephanie. And she is a fantastic wrestler. I'm not gonna take that away from her. But yeah, I could have did without her as being a champion for that long, for almost a whole year of her being a champion. But now it's back to Liv, and now we're gonna hear Liv and the rest of the Judgment Day just flaunt that championship. We get a quick little segment. John Cena comes out and he announces all the people that was in attendance. But we get a special surprise from Bianca Belair, who we haven't seen Bianca Belair in like almost a year or two. Probably now 2 years now. But she comes out, and I knew from the moment she popped on the TV screen that she was pregnant. She had the pregnant face, the fat face, the nose. She had everything. And she came to the ring with this big old blue, fluffy, rose type of vibe that she had on, just to announce that she is pregnant with her first child with Montez Ford, which I am so excited for. Congratulations to Bianca and Montez. Bianca will be a great mom. I knew something was up with her because normally Bianca be popping out a lot. And I haven't really seen her a lot on my social media. She's been, hiding out really, really well. Oh my goodness, can you imagine in like 20 something years with Bianca and Naomi's baby in the same company together? I don't know the gender of Naomi baby or even currently Bianca's baby right now, but can you even imagine 20 something years later those two gonna be in the ring? Oh my god. But the EST is having a baby. This is exciting. I'm really happy for her. I just knew she was pregnant. As soon as she popped onto that screen and I saw her face, I thought she pregnant. She pregnant. Her face is fat. But that was a really good surprise to see Bianca, and she's well along. Now I don't know my pregnancy months, but she looks a little along. She definitely has a belly, so I'm gonna aim probably around 5 months. It's out there, but it's not huge. But I don't know. So I guess we're not going to see Bianca for another almost a year or two. We ain't going to see her for a little bit. But This is a great moment. So, congratulations to Bianca, and she's gonna be a great mom. So, guys, we are now in the main event of WrestleMania Night 1. Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton for the Universal Championship. Now, this match, I'm not gonna lie, it wasn't for me. I'm honestly gonna give it a 6. It picked up during the beginning, and then it got slow. It got so slow. Randy was acting like he was not the same Randy that had been on TV or whoever you're watching it from for the past 2 months. He was not the same Randy. He got very boring. Cody was just in control the whole match. And then at the end, it started picking up. Randy RKO'd the ref. Then Pat McAfee came back out because Pat McAfee jumped Cody earlier. And then Jelly Roll came out to help and took out Pat McAfee. He got stretchered off. And then Pat pretended to come back and be a ref and try to get the pin for Randy. But he failed and got RKO by Randy. And then Cody capitalized and got the win. And so he is still the Universal Champion. But at the end, Randy Orton ended up attacking Cody with the belt and then giving Cody his legendary punt, which I haven't seen him do that punt in a minute. Been definitely a couple of years since he's done it. So I'm gonna call this. Are we gonna get another Randy versus Cody for the next pay-per-view? Because they did say earlier in the week that Randy may have tweaked his back, so maybe they're trying to wait for him to get a little bit more healthier before he starts doing this again. But you gotta realize Randy isn't gonna get any healthier. He's older, so he's not gonna get as healthy as he used to be. But after all that, Cody is still the champion, and that was the end of WrestleMania Night 1. And after all that, I'm going to give it the show definitely a 7 out of 10. Probably one of the good Mania that I've seen in a while for Night 1. But now it makes me a little bit nervous for Night 2 because it isn't as many matches on Night 2. But I don't know. We'll see. But I'll say most of my predictions were correct and half of them was wrong. The one with Cody was wrong. I thought Randy was going to win. The one with Becky and I'm missing another one. The one with the women's tag team championships. I was wrong with that too. But all in all, I feel good about my predictions, so I'm gonna go ahead and give my predictions for Night 2 tomorrow night. And I think tomorrow night, the match between Oba and Lesnar, I want it to be Oba, but I feel like WWE is gonna pick Lesnar. For the men's ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship, I really don't care for this, so I chose Javon Evans or Penta, and I don't really care about everybody else. You have Dominic Mysterio versus the Demon Finn Balor. I think Balor's gonna win. For Rhea and Jade, I think it's gonna be Rhea. Rhea's taking this. And then for Sami Zayn and Trick Williams, I got Trick. Trick is more entertaining. I think he'd be a better entertaining champion than Sami. And then lastly, Punk versus Reigns. I want Roman Reigns to win. Punk is okay champion. I'm just tired of seeing him as champion. I want somebody new. And that is it. That is my predictions for Night 2 tomorrow, which I'm going to also record Night 2 for get my reaction and my opinion. But after all that, this is the end of the show. So thank you for listening and hanging out with me today. Please be sure to like, subscribe, comment, and share people who love wrestling, and just continue to show support to this channel, and I will show my support to y'all as well. But be sure to love one another, be blessed, and mental health matters. Bye.